Global environmental change, which includes increasing temperatures, fluctuating rainfall, intensified extreme weather events, and land degradation, affects the lives of people around the world. Vulnerable communities in the Global South are disproportionately affected. For example, in rural areas, many people are heavily dependent on natural resources and face significant challenges as environmental change increases pressure on their livelihood. A common misconception is that people mainly respond with migration as soon as their main source of livelihood is threatened. Environmental change is often claimed to push millions of people across the entire globe. This is the narrative we often find in media. However, contemporary research shows that this is not the case. We at MIGSOKO, an interdisciplinary research group based at the Helmholtz-Center for Environmental Research in Leipzig, Germany, have found that the relationship between environmental change and migration is not a simple cause and effect relationship. A lot more factors are present, but often not accounted for. In studying rural households in sub-Saharan African drylands, we saw that nearly 1 out of 4 households use migration as an adaptation strategy. Most of the households stayed put when faced with the effects of environmental change. The majority relied on crop and livestock management as well as soil and water conservation measures to deal with environmental stress. On the other hand, our research also shows that there are those who want to migrate but are not able to, and there are those who have the means but choose not to. So how can we understand this complex relationship between environmental change and migration? Migration theory can help us understand this. Let's have a closer look. Migration need looks at the pressure on people to move. Migration ability is the capacity of people to move. Migration aspirations reflect people's motivation to move. These 3 aspects influence the decision to move or stay, and their relationships are quite intertwined. Our empirical research in the northern Ethiopian highlands has revealed a wide range of environmental and non-environmental factors that play an important role in migration decisions. For example, food insecurity, water scarcity, health problems, and diminishing agricultural income brought about by environmental change can increase the need for migration. And factors such as support from social networks and governments and access to markets can mitigate this need. In terms of migration ability, our findings show that only people with sufficient means are able to migrate if they choose to. For example, those with additional income sources outside of agriculture. We observed how migration ability is affected by environmental change. Hazards such as droughts and land degradation affect people's income and health, which makes it more difficult to migrate. Those without sufficient resources may be forced to stay despite increasingly difficult conditions. Other factors, such as gender inequalities, domestic responsibilities, and policy regulations, can also reduce people's ability to migrate. With respect to migration aspirations, we observe that not everyone affected by environmental change wants to migrate, and that migration aspirations vary among individuals. Perceived risks related to more frequent extreme weather events or uncertainty of agricultural production can increase people's aspiration to migrate, as well as education and job opportunities at destination areas and positive migration experiences within their social network. Social and cultural reasons, such as a strong attachment to their place of origin, or fears associated with migration, induce some people to stay despite increasing risks. Our research has revealed that there are more factors to the relationship between global environmental change and migration than are often presented. We discovered how environmental change can both trigger and inhibit migration by increasing migration needs and aspirations, or by reducing people's migration ability. We found cultural, social, and environmental factors at different scales that determine the need, ability, and aspiration to migrate. They vary from context to context, household to household, and individual to individual. We observed that social inequalities are crucial in determining why some people have a higher migration need but a lower migration ability than others. All this together makes the environment-migration relationship harder to predict and more complex than usually portrayed in the media. This is why MIGSOKO contributes to understanding this complex relationship and supports appropriate political decision-making that can improve the well-being and enhance the agency of those affected by global environmental change.